Yo, what's going on guys, Dewobs here, and welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Now recently we've had even more leaks for new maps and how they'll link to new heroes, some voice lines for the new heroes, and we can piece a lot of this together to try and figure out which heroes will be coming next with which maps by piecing together all of the leaks and the lore. So that's how we're going to start things off. So to begin with, there are two new Klyntar maps that were leaked in the game files because at the moment, Klyntar only has one map, and it makes sense that more are on the way. And we have the Celestial Remains, which is a domination map, and the Core. So first of all, because these two maps are in the game files, it means they are on the way. But of course, as with all of the leaks, it doesn't really give us a time frame. These maps could drop next season, they could drop in season 3, they could even drop in season 4 or later, because there are so many other leaked maps. For example, Thebes, set in Egypt, or also Krakoa and Morocco, which we'll get onto, and these could all come before them. However, I do think we know which heroes might be releasing at the same time as the brand new Klyntar maps based on all of the lore, and it's quite difficult to piece together the lore because there's so much Marvel Rivals lore. If you head over to the hero section, each hero literally has a huge lore story that ties in so many of the storylines and the heroes, but it's here where they are actually hinting future heroes and maps. So in the Adam Warlock lore, he is in his protective cocoon and he's traveling towards Klyntar, which is where he ends up, and along the way he is spoken to by different beings, all that have something to say about Null, some of them infected with Null's presence, and of course Null is trapped in the core of Klyntar, the living symbiotic planet, which I believe is built around the decaying body of a fallen celestial which was slain by Null himself. Now, in the Adam Warlock lore, there is a section where I believe it's teasing Jean Grey, the Phoenix, because right here it says, suddenly a burst of cosmic fire erupted through the heavens, producing a flash so brilliant that it permeated the walls of my cocoon. The light lasted only a second, but its unusual shape forever burned itself into my mind. A majestic bird, its flaming wings spanning across the cosmos. Before I could process what had happened, the vessel that was meant to protect me now hurtled through space towards a destination unknown. Now, although they don't say it, I believe what Adam Warlock experienced here was in fact the Phoenix, and we know that Phoenix is a leaked hero, which we can get into, but also in the Magneto lore, he's with several other mutants on Krakoa, and he uses his powers to create an old Cerebro, which he can wear in order to try and find more mutants that are in the time stream entanglement across the cosmos. And in this, he sees heroes that are already in the game, for example, Psylocke, but also he sees a powerful cosmic presence determined to burn the darkness out of the night sky. And many people, including myself, believe this is also Phoenix, Jean Grey, that is being described. So it already seems Jean Grey is referenced in 2 of the lore pages for Marvel Rivals, and the fact that she's determined to burn the darkness out of the night sky, I believe Jean Grey, the Phoenix, will also help in the fight against Null, which at the moment includes Adam Warlock, Venom, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and what might end up being Phoenix, who we know at the moment is going to be a duelist. And just as a reminder, before we take a look at the next new hero that's teased to be coming with the new Klyntar map, Jean Grey as the Phoenix, being a duelist, seems to be a hero with 2 forms, the Phoenix form and the psychic human form. And in her Phoenix form, she can definitely fly with the ability called Phoenix Wings Flying, and you might only be able to reach the Phoenix form by popping your ultimate, or it's something that you can just happily switch between. But as for her human form, she has the Psychic Explosion and Telekinetic Explosion, and the Telekinetic Transfer and Psychokinetic Transfer. Very strange sounding abilities, maybe an AoE damage ability and a pushback movement ability, and some theories are that she'll have a passive revive ability, as the Phoenix form has the ability to revive her. But alongside that, I also think Captain Marvel will be releasing in the same season as Klyntar, so it'll be Captain Marvel and Phoenix releasing during that season, because on the Klyntar map, people have noticed some sprays, and one of these sprays does look to be the icon of the Captain rank for the Kree military. And some of you big Marvel fans will notice that this logo was also worn by Mar-Vell, the original Captain Marvel, whose title was then passed on to Carol Danvers, which is the Captain Marvel most of you probably know. So the fact that this icon has already appeared on the existing Klyntar map that we have in the game right now might be setting up that the Kree have already been on Klyntar, or they're going to be involved in it, and that's why I think Captain Marvel will also be releasing, who is also a leaked hero, at the same time as the Klyntar map. And another reason to back up this point, on the first objective of the symbiotic surface on Klyntar, you can see this spray right here, which is actually the symbol for the Kree-Skrull alliance, further proving that the Kree and Skrull have somehow made their way to Klyntar, and that's why I think Captain Marvel will have something to do with the Null lore, and that's why I think she'll release at the same time as these new Klyntar maps. Honestly, it's a lot to piece together. There's so much lore, it's hard to keep up with, but I think it makes a lot of sense for Phoenix and Captain Marvel to drop in the same season as the Klyntar map. When will it be? Honestly, it could be season 3 or season 4 if I had my best guess. I don't think it's next season, but only time will tell. But that's not the end of it, because we have more maps leaked. We have the Krakoa and the Krakoa map. Now, apparently, these maps seem to be Hellfire Gala-centric. In the files where these maps are referenced, they're also referenced with the Hellfire Gala. So there's every chance that when these maps do release, they will have a Hellfire Gala theme, and we know that we're going to be getting Hellfire Gala themed skins, so it will make sense that we will be getting a season with Krakoa and Krakoa, with the Hellfire Gala maybe as the battle pass, with all that kind of theming, and that can be the theming for the entire map. We already know it exists based on the lore. As I said, Magneto and many of the other mutants are already on Krakoa in the lore, and they're trying to find more mutants to come here. And I believe one of the mutants that will be in the same season as the brand new Krakoa and Krakoa map will be Emma Frost. Why do I think this? Well, because Emma Frost has voice lines linked to Krakoa already in the game files. So all that was recently leaked for the game files is these bits of code right here. You can see voice broadcast chat, and it says Emma Frost Hellfire Gala Krakoa. And so that's more leaks to confirm that Emma Frost is on the way. I mean, she's got voice lines now, and that she'll heavily link to the Krakoa and Krakoa map, which makes sense. So we could see these maps dropping maybe season 3 with Emma Frost, and maybe even some other heroes like the mutants that were leaked recently, for example Cyclops. And with more evidence for Emma Frost, we know she's definitely coming to the game. There's just been too many leaks. We know she's a Vanguard for a start. We know her ability names, and my own personal opinion is that she will be quite similar to Ramotra from Overwatch in the fact that she has her two forms, her psychic human form and her diamond form, where she'll do more melee style abilities in the diamond form, and in her psychic form she'll be able to shoot longer projectiles, at the same time as also being able to cast a psychic barrier, just like Ramotra in Overwatch. Being able to choose where you want to place this barrier seems exactly how her ability is going to work, and I even think there's a chance she even has a similar ultimate to Ramotra, where she damages nearby enemies by linking to them via a mind connection, which is another name of one of her abilities. So honestly, Emma Frost can't come soon enough, but it seems she'll be linked to the Krakoa and Krakoa map, as many people could have guessed. But it's definitely exciting seeing the maps linked to the lore and the heroes that will be released at the same time. As I prefaced at the start of the video though, these are leaks. We don't actually have a timeline for these. Anything could happen before we see all of this in the game, but I think it's exciting piecing together different parts of the lore and the leaks to try and figure out maybe what we can expect. Now, something that's coming a bit sooner than all of these other leaks is the brand new Empire of Eternal Night Central Park map. Later in Season 1, during the mid-season, in a few weeks, towards the end of February, we're going to be getting the second half of the season, which will give us the other two Fantastic Four characters, but it will also give us the Central Park map variant. Now, this map will be a convergence map, and according to the leaks, it will involve Ratatoska. And you can see a Ratatoska icon there. And in the lore, Dracula defeated Blade and Ratatoska, and he has Blade held captive in his castle at the moment. And I don't know what's happening with Ratatoska. People say there's a chance he becomes a hero, but based on the leaks, I don't think that's going to be the case. There's every chance that he features as part of the map, maybe as a cool environment feature, or maybe something to do with one of the objectives. But that'll be fun watching the lore develop around that, and I do still believe that Blade will be freed at the end of Season 1, making him the new hero for Season 2, and that's why I don't really know what the next map for Season 2 will be. I don't think it's going to be Klyntar or Krakoa, because I think we know which heroes are coming with that season. So if I had to say my best guess, I think the Thebes map might be the Season 2 map, and I think, as we know, Ultron is a finished hero that was meant to be launched at release. I think Ultron would make sense to drop drop with the Thebes Egypt map, because alongside the Thebes map, I think we're going to be getting a Robotopia map variant, and okay, this is going to get fun. So the reason it would make sense for Ultron to release at the same time as an Egypt map variant is because during the comics, Ultron ends up building himself a wife called Alchema, and along the way, Ultron is killed. And at this time, Alchema builds a bunch of robots that are all technically still programmed by Ultron, because Ultron originally built Alchema, and she builds a place called Robotopia, which I believe is hidden underneath Thebes. And eventually what ends up happening is in Robotopia, all of these robots end up building a new version of Ultron, in turn reviving him and bringing him back. And in the events of this comic, what ends up happening, all the robots explode, almost killing Ultron once again, leaving nothing but his head. But of course, he can still be rebuilt from then. But there is lore that does relate Ultron to Egypt, and that's why I think if we're getting the Thebes map, that will have some heavy links to Moon Knight and the Valley of Kings, but also a Luxor Robotopia map variant for Egypt makes sense as well. So I think next season genuinely could be Blade and Ultron with the Egypt map variants like Thebes and Luxor/Robotopia. And I also think we will get a Valley of the Kings map variant for Thebes that does link to Moon Knight. From what I know from the Moon Knight comics, Thebes is where the Valley of Kings is, and this is actually where there was kind of like a hidden cave system where Mark Spector was given a lot of ancient weapons like his Ankh and Boomerang. So I think the Thebes map will have heavy Moon Knight lore and probably a Valley of the Kings map variant. But there you go. Let me know what you think of the leaks and my theories trying to piece together the lore. And if you are super clued up on the Marvel Rivals lore, let me know if you have any more thoughts in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.